Hey everyone, Tim from the Word of Life Church. Hope everyone has, when they see this, is having a good day or has had a good day. Looking outside right now, sunshine is out. Been a little bit of gray, cloudiness, but oh man, I love the sunshine. You can see it glaring. I can see it glaring in through the camera here. Good day to be saved. Good day to be in the Lord. Always a good day to be saved. Don't go a day any longer without being saved, without coming to the Lord Jesus. Amen. Got some fresh coffee here. Throat is actually feeling better thanks to some good old warm coffee, and actually probably using it. As I said, strained it the other night. Kind of pushed it a little bit too far when we were singing at church, but you know it. When the Spirit's moving, you got to get in. You got to get in with it and move, because you'll miss a blessing if you don't. Amen. So we got our coffee going here, and got to other news websites. Of course, I've got one of, see the head there. One, not the, but one of the needy cats that they'll lay down. I swear Mom has spoiled her babies. She has spoiled them to death. I tell you. Okay. See what I mean? Sorry, I apologize. I want to come on and not, this is not going to be another hour. Like I said, I'm stopping doing the whole hour long news broadcast, because some of it is some may even be in the mainstream news, but there's a lot that they won't tell you in the mainstream news, of course. That's why I go to secondary and alternative news sources, because they don't have an agenda. All they're doing is just putting the news that's out there, and just saying what it is, not putting any covering over it or changing anything, or putting a spin on it. They're just pushing it out and say, look, here's this article, and this is what it's about. So let's see. I'll tell you what, these cats. Let's see. Kind of pick and choose. There's a lot going on. Always a lot going on each and every day. There's just so much and so much. Only one person, or only 10 person. That could look through and see and find out and see all the stuff that's going on, and but the Lord reveals stuff to you. I really believe that, and of course spiritually He does, but also in the natural way, and as a spiritual, as as another pastor, preacher says, what happens seems like on the spiritual side will manifest in the natural, and that I agree with, and I've preached to and taught to, is we're starting to see more of the spiritual things intruding and coming over into the natural side. What all that stuff is, this is not the time to go into that. That'd be more for our spiritual warfare courses, which there again need to start those back up again. Whew, man, we got a lot going on. Not as much as some. There's some that mail stuff out, and that just do a whole. I don't see how they keep up with it. But at any rate, let's hit a few of the more glaring, the more the articles that kind of pop out to me here. If I can deal with it. See how needy this was. You need a cat? This is a needy cat. You need one? If you want one, here it is. Now, Mom may kill me if I got rid of her babies. There's an article, and this is from, hang on one second. I'll just try to give the new, or the website from here on out. That way, anybody can look at it. This is newswithviews.com. All one word. newswithviews.com. And the title of the article is Why Hillary Will Not Be Elected. and there's an add-on to the title here, and I say it's part of the article. I'll go ahead and read it. It said she has an insurmountable problem confronting her, per se violations of the Espionage Act, with the whole email scandal, and probably told the next door neighbor what was going on, some classified stuff, something stupid like that. Oh boy. Anyway, it said, and possible violations of the public corruption laws that are about to come to a head. So, first and foremost, I'm not. Let me close this right here. I opened 2 minutes. Not bringing this to the table to bring this up to be political. Okay. I'm not political. I want God's will for this country to be what goes on, not what man wants. When man gets what he wants, you see the shape the country's in now. That's part of it. That's what man has wanted. Just the same. Nothing. There's nothing new under the sun. It said that which was shall be again. I don't know if I sort of exactly quoted that right, but that's basically what it's saying. Israel, the same thing. They wanted they didn't want to be ruled by God anymore. They said, Lord, God, we know, or told them, said, look, we're done. We're done with God. We don't want to be ruled by Him anymore. Think about it. I paraphrase and think about, well, look at this nation over here. They're having so much more fun than we're having. We don't want to be ruled by God anymore if that's what we're having to do. If we're having to follow all these laws and everything. And this person told me over in this city, on this area here, that they're allowed to do this, and their law allows this and everything. I'm kind of paraphrasing that. You know how you like to think of things and kind of give an example. That's just an example. I'm not saying that actually happened. I'm just saying. But anyway, it does say that they did not want to be ruled by God anymore. They wanted a king like these other nations, but these other nations were heathen nations, and were not just run by man. They were ran by demonic or fallen angels, masquerading as the gods of old, the lower G gods, like we hear about Baal and Moloch and Shamash, and so the list is, you can go further down with many different names. It doesn't matter the name; it's just the name that they're going under, that they fool people thinking that they're a god. And most of these so-called gods, these fallen ones that are masquerading as gods, demand human sacrifice. That's what happened with the Mayans. It's the same deal with that. That's what's happening today. The same deal with the Muslims. Their demonic god demands blood sacrifice, and that's blood sacrifice of what they say of the heathen, like you or I, you and the Christians and all the other people that are basically not Muslims. And my goodness, they're even battling with themselves, with members of their own faith, and killing each other too. So, Lord help us. It's not going to be. All this stuff is going to go on. There's going to be no peace. Everybody talks about the peace process and dividing the Holy Land, and everything, and how it's disputed, and until the Lord Jesus comes, there will be no peace, true peace. Now the Antichrist will offer a peace, and there'll be a peace treaty, so-called, but it's going to be a false one, and that's not going to last that long. If we want that everlasting peace, everlasting joy and peace, we're only going to find that through the Lord Jesus Christ. So, at any rate, like I said, having said all that, hey, like I said, I'm not being political. I don't lean either political way. People say, well, you need to lean one way or the other. As I said, I'm a Christian. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican, Libertarian, Constitutional, Republican, whatever. I want God's will what He wants for this country. That's my political standpoint, is that I'm a Christian and I want God's will done in this nation. If people will only turn back to Him, instead of when planes supposedly, and I say supposedly, people are going, there's things out about 9/11, that people need to watch. But anyway, supposedly when these planes hit and what we were seeing is actually real. Yeah, I know that sounds odd. There's reason to say that though. Everybody on the Capitol Hill, with their arm, hands and arms, basically, God bless America. They might as well have been singing Kumbaya, with each other. That's about as far as it went for them. After a while, the fear left, and we're back to the same old thing. So anyway, this, as I said, this article comes from newswithviews.com, and it's talking about Hillary and all the stuff that I just don't. I don't know about the election. The elections basically are fixed anyway. Who they want in there, who the world elite want in there, people that control. Who the prince of this world controls them. The prince of this world being Satan, the enemy, the adversary. Who they want in there, they're going to get in there. Even if you're saying, well, brother, they put a Republican in there and he says he's a Christian and does all this, well, they're politicians. Am I saying they're liars or anything? They're politicians. Let me tell you what the politicians want. You guys know as well as I do. They want money, they want control, and they want power. So, either way, God's will and everything is going to come to pass according to what God's will is, what's in His Word, and what He says is going to come to pass. We're seeing all the signs of what's going on nowadays. No point in going back into all of them again. I just mentioned some in the preaching video, and I do it almost in every one to tell them what's exactly some of the stuff that's coming down the road. May not be tomorrow, the next day, maybe not be. Hey, we may. I don't know. Think about it. Of course, we can't see each other right now. Of how many, you could raise your hand. How many people think we got 3 years left before, the return of the Lord? 5 years, 8 years, 10 years. Who knows? Only God knows the time when He's going to send the Lord back, and whatever forevermore be with the Lord in the air. It's going to be a calling, a snatching away. That's what the Bible says. People dispute that. Hey, look, if you don't want to use the word rapture, I ain't got a problem with that. That's fine. You could just read what it says. Calling away of the church, or snatching away of the church. It says we're going to be put. The dead in Christ are going to rise first, and those of us that remain afterward, that are still alive, we're going to be taken up in the air with all these people, and with the Lord, to be forevermore with the Lord in the air. So it's kind of a non-argument to me. I argue about stuff like that. That's not, what I say. But it says calling and catching away of the church. This, snatching, and we're going up. That's what it says. Then people say, well, there ain't no rapture. Well, they're talking about a flyaway doctrine. Well, I think what they're talking about, what they mean when they're saying that is, I believe when we start seeing, especially here like in the U.S., if we start seeing stuff bad happening or getting any worse, that's what's going to trigger the calling and catching away of the church, the pre-tribulation rapture. I personally, I guess this is maybe, I don't know, memory being as bad as it is, go on record now saying that my belief is, and if you want to put a label to it, it would be called a mid-tribulation calling or catching away of the church. We're going to see some of the tribulation and wrath of the Antichrist. I know we're not going to see the wrath of God. Okay, I know that. I know we're going to be gone before that happens. But I believe that we're going to see some of the tribulation and the killing of Christians by the Antichrist. And I believe at this point the false prophet and the Antichrist are most likely walking the planet at this time. So I don't know why, man. But Lord knows why we go the way we go. You know, people say, "Well, you're getting off track a little bit there." Well, when stuff comes to mind, I'm gonna say it. I got to obey the Lord. But go read this, and you'll see what it's talking about. All the legalities and everything, and why people believe that Hillary won't be elected. But Lord help us if it goes the other way and Bernie Sanders gets elected. You're saying, brother, you're being political. No, I just I don't want socialism or communism in this country as our way of life, which our current president would love to have, and what the next one would love to have. So anyway, go read that if you get a chance. Next on the list here is, U.S. military gives go-ahead to Gremlin drones. Swarms of craft will overwhelm enemy defenses and conduct missions too dangerous for manned aircraft. Sounds like the Suicide Squad comic book for all you comic fans out there. We click on this here if it'll let me. This is from the, give you this. Not time for an old rebuild of the computer. It's running kind of slow. Okay, this comes from the dailymail.co.uk, and it'll be in the science section. Okay, and it gives that title about the military gives go-ahead to Gremlin drones. Swarms of craft will overwhelm enemy defenses and conduct missions too dangerous for mancraft. Each drone could be reused up to 20 times. Drones would swarm together. It's giving me an interesting thought. But anyway, swarm together to carry out missions on the front line. Launched in midair from larger aircraft and then retrieved the same way. Pardon me. Gotta have hot coffee. And that's the first big thing that popped in my head when it said Gremlin drones. What did I see? I saw a gremlin in my mind. And it even talks about, said they were the mischievous creatures blamed for causing mechanical failures and faults on aircraft during World War II, and later the destructive monsters in a hit film franchise. That's the ones I was seeing. I was seeing the gremlins from that movie in my mind when it said Gremlin drones. Oh boy. I said, so gremlins might not seem like the first choice for a fleet of robotic aircraft being developed by the U.S. military, but the U.S. Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, has given the go-ahead for 4 firms to begin building the craft. And it says, let's see, no, we don't want to go that way. We'll go down. Kind of gives a picture of a large aircraft, and it shows the drones, and they're sort of like, they're not a little bit different looking than the Predator drones that we have. They don't have the big bulbous front, but they have more of an aircraft looking front, and smaller wings come out the side and everything. But but basically along the same lines. Okay. Said this, DARPA said the program has been deliberately named Gremlins after the imps that British pilots during World War II adopted as their good luck charms. The four firms that they have given the go-ahead and that have got the military contracts through the government, through DARPA, and through our government. You'll see. Here's Needy Cat. Look here. See the tail? It's back again. The companies are Composite Engineering, Dynetics, General Atomics Aeronautical Systems, and Lockheed Martin will develop the craft. So if you get a chance, go by there as well and read that. As I said, that is from the dailymail.co.uk.com under the science section. Interesting read. You'll find out some of the stuff, a lot of stuff that will be used by, and even more advanced. See, this is just the stuff that you got to remember. You've got to keep this in mind. This is the stuff that's just for public consumption. Okay, you think, wow, they're talking about this. That's pretty neat. We know all. You don't know. We don't know anything. The stuff that DARPA has at their disposal that they've gotten from who knows from where. You guys have heard me talk about it. That get ideas get downloaded to people's head from the enemy, which is a spiritual thing. We have no idea. We have no idea how many light years ahead we are, technology-wise. Some of the aircraft that's sighted that nobody can identify, that does stuff that's almost nearly impossible. Stuff like that is given to us from the spiritual side, and it's for reasons relating to the great deception that is soon to come, and that's building up right now as part of the beast system as it rises as well. Excuse me. Need to hurry. Coffee's getting cold. Need a little hot plate. Okay, 19 facts that prove things in America are worse than they were 6 months ago. This comes from okay. Come on now. Sorry about that. Little dog. This article comes from the Economic Collapse blog.com. Okay. Scrolling down here. Quite a bit of things to read there. You know what? Like I said, that article comes from the Economic Collapse blog.com, and it said that 19 facts that prove things in America are worse than they were 6 months ago. I'm not going to go ahead and read through all of them. I encourage you to go through and read if you're interested. I want to hit this next one because this hits kind of below the belt, because it's talking about food. and I like my food. Listen to this. This may turn some people away, may not, I don't know. Chemical added to hot dogs, sausage, and bacon. Oh, not bacon, come on, please. Now being developed by USDA as deadly bait that poisons wild hogs to death. And you're eating it for breakfast. So what are they? What exactly are they talking about? Are we eating some kind of poison? Well, seeing how they don't care to poison the atmosphere, and we have genetically modified foods. We have like I said, we have chemtrails that's making people sick. Cancer is just a monster that keeps growing, and it's because of what's in the air, what we're breathing, our intake, and what we're eating is what's given us cancer. A lot of people will dispute that. Okay, so that's fine if you want to, believe what you want to. Keep on breathing the air. We got to breathe. But when you look in the sky and you recognize what the chemtrail, you see it now and you understand what it is and how it can spread over. It's not just a little jet contrail that just stays a little bit pinned up in the sky and it eventually disappears. Then we see the larger ones, and all of a sudden 2 hours later you look and it looks like in the sky like it's this wide or something. Yep, that's what they're doing. And apparently what's with the chemical they're talking about putting here, it says a chemical known as sodium nitrate is a cancer-causing color fixer and meat preservative added to processed meat products to give them a pink hue and consumers mistake for being flesh. When sodium nitrate combines with hydrochloric acid found in stomach acid, it forms cancer-causing nitrosamines. These nitrosamines go on to directly promote pancreatic cancer, colorectal cancer, leukemia, brain tumors, and other cancers throughout the body. Wow. Facts that I have been warning readers about for over a decade. Sodium nitrate is the reason why processed meats drastically raise the risk of cancer, heart disease, and diabetes. That's all I'm going to read of that. If you want to go and read this article, I highly suggest that you do that. I highly suggest that you go read it. I'll give you the website for that. This is from www.naturalnews.com, and you'll see the article there. That's www.naturalnews.com. Boy, that's a kick in the gut. I like my bacon, I like my hot dogs. Oh well, most people say, oh well, you're not going to live forever, so we might as well eat and enjoying everything. Well, I guess reading something like that, if that's not enough to kick you off of eating meat products, then I don't know what will. Anyway, let's see here. Let's look through more. I'm trying to find. I'm being choosy. That's why I'm trying not to go. We're at half an hour already, so that's why I'm trying to be choosy about what and the stuff that like that. Definitely, that's something that need to be put out there. Let's see. Survey shows college students naive on loss of free speech and First Amendment rights. That's no wonder. That's what they're getting taught in. All the way down to grade school, up through middle, and then high school, and then on to college. Communism is being pushed on us. Just that's what they want. They want a communistic, socialist country where all the elite are up here and all the people are down here. They want a oh boy, here we go. Totalitarianism. I did pronounce it. That's what they want. They want to be the only ones at the top, and no middle class. Everybody else on the bottom, scraping and having to fight for food and water and relying on them. That's what goes into what's going to come with the mark of the beast. To have to get that to buy or sell or to even survive, right? So, oh, look here, needy cat one more time. Oh well, I know everybody's got to where they love to see needy cat. That's what she is. Mama has spoiled her to death. Oh, okay, let's see. FBI says a mysterious hacking group has had access to U.S. government files for years. Man, I'd like to have been part of that group. So what are they doing about it, or what have they done about it already? Because see, we're getting this out right now. Like I said, this is stuff for public consumption that they're allowing to, the news to go on. If it was something they didn't want anybody to bring out, or the mainstream news, it's part of the government, run by the government and controlled, they wouldn't have let it out. But it says the feds warned that if I could learn how to use a mouse here, that would help. The feds warned that a group of malicious cyber actors, whom security experts believe to be the government-sponsored hacking group known as APT6, have compromised and stolen sensitive information from various government and commercial networks since at least 2011, according to an FBI alert obtained by Motherboard. Okay, so if you want to go read this one, all the stuff is interesting. All the stuff has reason. That's why I'm pulling out and being kind of choosy about what I bring out. It comes from motherboard.vice.com, and that's the website. Motherboard.vice, as in VICE.com, and you'll find the article underneath there about the FBI. That's the title of it. FBI says a mysterious hacking group has had access to U.S. government files for years. Boy, I'd like to be part of that, wouldn't you? Probably not if they descend on you and get rid of you. Oh boy. Exodus of people moving away from California is becoming an avalanche. Well, of course it is. Could happen. One of these days, I'm not going to be surprised. California just basically just falls off into the sea. You got Fukushima that's poisoned everything in the Pacific, and it's hit all the way over to our west coast. And all the things going on, earthquakes in California, and just of any place to live on this planet, California would be the number one place. I'm a big fan of it. It's where Hollywood is. You know how I feel about Hollywood. InfoWars Nightly News: Ted Cruz's dirty laundry finally being aired out for America. Well, that's more of political type stuff. That's they're hacking him to Ted Cruz. They're hacking him to pieces with some stuff. Apparently they found out or got on him. Who knows if it's true? If it's just a smear campaign? That's politics. It's politics. Writings by ancient, and this is kind of one of my area. Writings by ancient Rephaim, which was giants in the Bible. People sometimes get too confused, the Nephilim and the Rephaim. There's some people believe that the Nephilim actually were the giants, and of course the Rephaim were as well, but there are other people, and I kind of lean this way. When it talks about the Nephilim, it talks about they have fallen, or the fallen. Maybe actually talking about the fallen angels, the B'nai Ha-Elohim, or Elohim, B'nai Ha-Elohim, the sons of God in the Old Testament. The Nephilim is what that means, the fallen angels. Now, when you start talking about the Rephaim, you're talking about some of the tribes of the giants that Joshua and the children of Israel had to deal with in Canaan. But anyway, this says, writings by ancient Rephaim found. The lost book of King Og. Remember, it talks about the King Og of Bashan was of the giants. His bed, I think, was 15 or 18 feet in length, the iron bed. Excuse me. And I heard say it wasn't just a large bed for him to sleep in because he had such a big ego. It was because he was an actual giant. He was of the giants. Goliath, it was one of the giants from those tribes, and he had brothers. It says, and the guy that Brother Steve Quill, after this, he talked about this is one of his big areas he's written books about. This is interesting to say the least. Look at all the info being released to prepare the way for the return of the Rephaim, giants in parentheses, and their hatred of God and His creation. So look more into that. You got to be careful about some of these things you find out about, writings that have been found, because a lot of the Gnostic Gospels have been found, and a lot of those aren't right, or are not of God. Other books like the book of Mormon, another testament of Jesus Christ. All these things are doctrines of demons, and were created by seducing spirits, as the Bible talks about. So I'm gonna do some more research. I'm gonna read through this, and if I may do an actual full thing on this, and check that out. I find that highly interesting, because that's one of my areas in spiritual warfare and all this stuff that's going on. More financial woes, economic, it's just the way it is nowadays. You can't get away from it. Several more things I could go into, but I think I'm going to go ahead and end this right here, because it, like I said, we're talking about a lot of economic type stuff, and just really some of the stuff we've already been through. If anything else comes up I feel that's and needed to be talked about, brought to the table, I will most certainly do it, and be happy to warn some people. And as always, I'm going to try to start giving out the websites. That way you guys can go look and read it for yourself. Just don't take my word for it. Go read it yourself. But anyway, this was Tim once again from Word of Life, doing a news update, and we'll see you in the next video. God bless and take care.